Welcome, viewers, to another exciting episode of the Renewalism Show. Really glad to have you here, and thanks for keeping on coming back because it's exciting to see that there is value that we're sharing through the Renewalism Show every day. We are talking about habits, and that's why this show is all through June 30 habits on 30 days, discussed with one very special guest every night. Tonight, we're going to talk about a habit about learning new languages. Now, you might wonder what's this whole connection? Let me pull back a little, especially if you're here for the first time. Renewal is a book that I've written, which was actually guided to me. I was channeled this book by a certain energy form called Guru Pranachandra. This was way back in December last year. He proposed that in order to save the planet from annihilation, self annihilation by the human species, there are a few things that we can do voluntarily by way of changing our habits, changing the pattern of our lifestyle, which would result in either not annihilating ourselves or at least deferring that. Depends on how we take up those habits. Now, these habits are in three categorizations. One is self renewal, which is the mind, body, spirit renewal. And he takes us through 10 habits which we can implement from morning to night through the day. We have been discussing these on various episodes in the past. We also have a set of symbiotic habits which impact our relations with others, with the planet, with the environment. And then we have a third set of systemic habits, which is about renewing our systems. The man made world order is not serving us, is not serving the planet. And one of the things that is part of systemic renewal is what we're going to discuss today. So, for those of you interested, I would urge you to read the strip that I'm displaying below. This is the renewalism movement that we are expecting to trigger off, something way more powerful than the vegan movement, because that was similar. It was lifestyle changes because we didn't want to exploit animals. These are lifestyle changes because we want to raise our own consciousness. We want to prepare our next generation. We want to prepare human species for living blissfully and not getting sucked deeper into the moral decay and the state of personal illness and the degradation that we see around the world. Coincidentally, in the last couple of months, we have changed some habits which were also documented in December when this book was written. And they have resulted in good stuff for the planet. The air is cleaner, the water is cleaner, stuff like that. Relationships are better. People are saving money and time on commutes, all that sort of stuff. Schooling is online. It's crazy, but a lot of that had been written earlier and has been implemented, and we've seen the good effect, which is why this book was launched in June directly by me so that we don't lose time in getting you to adopt those habits, because before the lockdown is over, we've got to cement those habits in our mind streams. And so pick up a copy of the book. You will get it from Amazon. It's a paperback, or you can buy an ebook. Renewalism.com is the site from where you start your journey. All the links worldwide to all Amazon sites are there. So now let's welcome today's guest to discuss this habit of systemic renewal, which is about learning multiple languages. My guest today is Maria Cordero from Mexico, and she is not only a Spanish teacher, she is also a person who's very well versed and comfortable learning new languages, multiple languages. And having said that, let's welcome Maria on and take the book away. So here we are. Welcome. Hi there. Good to see you there.
Hello, thanks for
Yeah.
inviting me to your show.
So nice. Maria, it is so important to learn multiple languages for being able to change systems, because we're talking about saving the planet, we're talking about global stuff. But from your point of view, from the point of view of somebody who's traveled a lot and loves the world, loves life, loves languages, what would you say are the important things why people must know more than one or two languages?
Well, in that perspective, is that in your book you talk about a lot of awareness, and when you learn another language, you develop a lot of awareness because you have to see, to watch out what you are saying, how you're going to put the phrase. You become aware of even your own language because sometimes you realize that even your mother tongue, you don't know why you say what you say. I mean, what is the grammar? What is the reason? Then people ask you when they are learning your own language, they say, hey, why would you say that? And you don't know how to explain because we didn't think about how we were learning. We just learned it, how we were growing up, right? So when you learn another language, you realized that you have certain ignorance about your own language. You know, you don't use the whole vocabulary. You don't explore more way to express yourself. So in that context, you become more aware of the things. And also, when you are learning another language, you are also learning another culture. You can connect to the language first, how it sounds. It has to sound beautiful to you. Maybe you have a connection with that country because you love science, because you love cooking, because you love that art, because you love that style of architecture. So you get involved in many ways with a new language in a new culture. Maybe you plan to visit that country. So in
Right.
that context, it helps you to connect more with people, to understand the differences between the cultures. You know, you observe that culture, and then you can understand better also your own culture. So you can make more
Right.
connection with people, and also you make more empathy with people. You understand better how they live because you can ask questions to them directly. Why you do this? What do you think about that? I've never understand why in this context you do this. So they explain the reasons, the cultural reasons, religion reasons. Then it becomes also that is better for you because then you open your mind. You open your mind, you become more tolerant, you understand more other people's lives. So it's very nice for me to be able to speak with other people when I travel to other countries, because it's not only that you spend time in the hotel or in the tourist places. No, it's nice to just talk with people in the road. Hey, where are you from? What do you do for living? What do you eat here? You go to the market and you ask questions about how to cook this, how they combine ingredients. And there are so many things that you can learn from people. And that helps a lot also for the teenagers because they get involved with other ways of living, ways of thinking, and then realize that anything is labeled according to the context and to according to the language, right? If you speak only English and I say red, you can think only if a bright color red. But if I tell you rojo or acai or roso or another in another language, maybe you will say, what is she talking about? So it helps you also to understand that everything is mere name, and it's good. You don't have so much fixation in things, and also when you learn another language, you create more opportunities for yourself, for your own career, and if you own a business, also imagine, and also you make a lot of new friends, and you can influence people and you can help people because when you try to
Right.
communicate in another language, you create also you become more creative because maybe you don't know the words or the right words, but you make a way or route how to make yourself understood by others with your limited language. For example, you don't speak all the language in the planet, but you become very creative to make yourself understood. You know, you lose this fear. You gain the connection with people. You like to connect with people, and also you establish more. It opens a lot of bridges, open a lot of doors. It's not a
Right.
barrier. You know?
Right. That's great. Making connections, getting better communication, opening opportunities. I think they're very solid points. And importantly, the one you started with, I love that because you quoted from the book about awareness. Can you like what Guru Pranachandra writes is that he was very impressed by the way the Tibetan culture was wound around the Tibetan language, and it was a language that embodied Buddhism completely, and there were many concepts that were so integral to uh, to the forming of words in that language that they can't be expressed in any other way. And I believe you are also a little conversant with Tibetan. It would be interesting to know some of your experiences as you have been traveling and in your work as you've been expanding business. How did it help to acquire other language knowledge?
Well, when I first came to India, okay, first of all, I was able to come to India because I speak English. So I was very confident. So this is a very good point. You get so much confidence that you can do things. You say, the
Right.
doors are opening for me. So, but when I came to India, immediately I went to only to the monasteries. The first thing
Okay.
I began to do was to learn the alphabet, the Tibetan alphabet. So in 2 days, I knew everything about how to write and how to pronounce it. Pronounce it, you know. You need to practice a lot because you have sounds that you don't have in your own language. But
Hmm.
you repeat and you practice with the monks every day, and little by little you improve your pronunciation. But at least you know what is the basic pronunciation. Then little by little you refine it, right? But it was very interesting for me to spend that time in the monasteries because I begin. I had to learn how to ask at least where is the bathroom, what time is the temple will open tomorrow, what is the timing for the restaurants, where I can find this and this and this, and what is the office, and where is Rinpoche,
Hmm.
or where is the basic things. Then you learn how to. First, I memorize the phrases completely, and I put in how to write. And then little by little, you understand better and better and better. And there is you reach a point where you listen somebody else speaking in Tibetan, you know the context, and you can even say, no, 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 this is not like that. Maybe you
Ah,
don't know how to say the whole explanation, but at least you know, no, it's not like this. And it's not today,
right.
it will be tomorrow. And then you
Right.
just stop and what is happening, and it helps a lot. And then I was impressed with the monks at first because they inspire me because being with them, they speak Hindi, they live in India. Also, they speak Nepali because they spend half of the year in Nepal. When India gets so hot, they go there. Then they speak Chinese because they were raised in China and then they came to India, or their parents were speaking Chinese. And then they speak Tibetan and they speak English. And I was like, wow, you speak 5 languages. It was
Wow.
like, wow. And on top of all, they have to study some Sanskrit because when you study Buddhism, you have so many Sanskrit words, you know. Not too many, but you have in the mantras, and not to
Right.
have a good
So,
conversation, but some meaning.
yeah,
And
if I may just ask you, I was very curious when you were saying that you learned the Tibetan alphabets in 2 days. Now, it's not that everybody is a linguist, and it's a God's gift, I would say, if you can speak, if you have the flexibility of language. But you're also a Spanish teacher. And how do you get people who have no background of Spanish to start getting comfortable with the language?
Well, yes, the children, I have a lot of children, like 5 years old, 6 years old, 7, 8, 9. I have even a student of 60, 62 years old,
Yeah.
and a lot of teenagers. But what is more touching to me, like the 5 years, 6 years, 7 years old, they come to me and they say, I want to learn Spanish. Why you want to learn Spanish? Because I love it. What do you know
Yeah.
about? Do you know any words in Spanish? Where did you listen the language? Why? Many of them they say because I watched Dora la Exploradora and I speak Spanish as a matter of fact, but I want to learn more. How do you speak Spanish? Yes, and they say, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. You know, I speak Spanish, I speak Hindi, and I speak English. And I was like,
How do you
wow,
want to
your
do better?
Spanish is great. Yeah, but I need more Spanish. Okay, so let's begin. And some of them, they say, I don't know, but I like Spanish. It sounds nice to me. I didn't want to choose German or French. I know that Spanish is the language that I want. And they
Hmm.
don't give me any reason like specific. It's just because they like. But they
So
haven't
there
listened
is
so
some
much also. So
connection.
I don't know.
There is either some curiosity or some connection, and then they just get started because you are able to probably relate the language that they know with the new language, the common words, and then that gets them more interested. So, no, the reason I asked that was because many of our viewers would like to know how to break that barrier, that mental barrier that is difficult to learn a new language. And
Yeah.
I, for one, have been using tools like Duolingo, which just get you started, get you comfortable, and enough to sort of communicate, but not enough to give you that confidence. You know, the way you spoke of coming to India and getting that self confidence from there. So, I was just wondering whether there's any tips that you have for our viewers on feeling confident that you can start.
Well, Fidel, for everything begins with a decision. Once you decide to do
Wow.
something, nothing will stop you because you have the firm decision that I want to do this and I will do it. So you can begin to have the basic words in Duolingo, and you can be
Right.
there for a while. You can practice 1 hour, 2 hours daily, or 30 minutes. It depends how much time you have. But there will be a point where you really need a teacher because there are so many things that it depends on the context. And
Right.
Spanish is really rich vocabulary. It's a Romance language, and also they get a lot of related to your question is that many people don't know that they know already too many words based in Latin. So when I began to
Huh.
tell them that hospital, restaurante, carro, o geografía, matemáticas,
Right.
planeta, Urano, Saturno, biología. They see the word and they know what is that. Lógica. It says,
Awesome.
lógica will be logic. Yeah, it's logic. So the good thing is like Spanish is based in Latin, like Italian, French, Portuguese, and Romanian. So we have a lot of common words, and science is based in Latin. So when you read a
Awesome.
book, a science book in another of these languages, you instantly will know that the topic is such and such and such. Maybe you don't have the whole vocabulary, but you will have an idea what is the topic discussed, right?
Awesome.
So they get
So,
so much
what I
confidence
take
through
away.
that. Mm,
Right.
sorry.
Now, what I take away from that is that look for the commonalities, start on common ground because there is a lot of common ground between a lot of languages. and do it so that you're cultivating your awareness. You are getting more confident, you are getting more connected, and you're not limiting yourself to the well that you are in, which is of your region or your country or your domain. You're becoming more interactive, and
Exactly.
that's probably one of the cornerstones of renewal, because when you're talking about renewing in the context of the world, you've got to be a world player. And I think
Exactly.
that's awesome.
And
Sorry.
another thing that I want to stress is that if you are 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, it will help you a lot to learn a language. Maybe you say, I'm not planning to travel, I'm not planning to open a business, blah, blah, blah. But that will help you so much because it counteracts the Alzheimer and many mental health. So it's very nice for the plasticity of the brain to learn another thing. It can be a language, or you can paint, or anything you want to do. The point is that you have to be complete immersed in the activity. For
Right.
example, for me personally, I would like and I would love, and I think I don't know what am I waiting for, but I would like to begin to write Urdu or Arabic because I think it's so beautiful and it's like a calligraphy. So you practice the calligraphy, you are full aware of what you are doing. It's like a painting, you know. I have a Tibetan teacher in United States that when he wrote just one simple word in the blackboard, I was like, what is he doing? It's like he was painting, you know. It's like full attention, and all his being was writing. And it was amazing how just look at him inspired so much just to do it. Even you don't know what is the word, you just want to do it. So that it will help also to all people because maybe they don't have other reasons, but for the mental health, for become more aware, is very useful.
That's an incredible point. It's not just for kids or for travelers, but it's for preventing yourself from mental decay, which is an awesome dimension, which I would recommend to anybody who's 50 plus. And we're on the top of 20 minutes now, so I'm gonna. I mean, I would love to keep talking with you, Maria, but we'll just like our viewers to know that we are here on this page every evening at 9 o'clock, and we'll welcome your comments. We would look at your comments and reply to them, because the whole purpose of doing the renewalism show is to get people acquainted with those habits. You can read the book for more, renewalism.com, and to understand that they are really not difficult. Guru Pranachandra spells out how to easily shift over to new habits. And like Maria said, you look for common ground, you move over to places where you get people where you get inspired, like calligraphy, Tibetan, Chinese. In fact, Guru Pranachandra talks about Chinese, that calligraphy
Mhm.
was a way of dueling, and it was that important to be able to wield a pen and draw a character in the right way. You could actually win a duel that way. So very interesting stuff in this. Grab a copy. And while we'll see you tomorrow at 9 at the same page, I'd request Maria to leave you with any last words of wisdom before we wind up the show. Anything you'd like to share with our viewers, Maria?
Well, I would like the people who is watching the show to grab your book, buy the book, and read it, please, because there are amazing new habits that the book is talking about and is beneficial for the whole planet. And these days, we need to think about future generations. What is the planet that we are leaving behind? And our habits are observed by them. The children will never do what you say, they will do what you do. So you have to be the example. You have to change first, and they will do what you do. So even if you are not interested in another language, maybe you can begin with your children to begin to speak a new language. That will be awesome. Then everybody practice together anytime, all the time.
That's such fun. I know some of your students do that. Their entire families are involved, and it's so awesome. It's so
Yeah.
binding for the family as well. Great. Thank you so much, viewers. Thank you so much, Maria. On that note,
Thank
we
you.
sign off for today. Thanks. Have a great night. Have a good evening. Ciao.